Are we recording? Yes, we are. Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You catching me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, on YouTube, Bitchute, and I'm trying to get on other places too. I'm getting used to the other platforms just to spread it out a bit and stay safe. You know, I don't watch my words very carefully, so we'll see what happens with YouTube. But I'm just covering myself in a cloak, and I'm not, thankfully, yet in big enough numbers to have them give a care. So that gives me the freedom to speak a little bit more freely, I feel anyway. This is the daily energy reading where I give you a narrative of each day to help guide the energies that you might face within you, around you, and within others. Take what resonates as it is general and leave what does not. Excuse me if I'm sounding a bit ropey today. I don't feel very well. It's something that's passing, and so it's just, it is what it is. It's passing. I'm taking lots of vitamins and whatnot. So it's but just excuse me if I'm a bit ropey today. This is for the 26th of February 2021. Getting through February, nearly through February fast. Although doesn't it feel like it's been 6-7 months since like December, since everyone was celebrating Christmas? The time is very strange right now. Time is showing itself when we haven't had everything being open, and there's just distractions and all of those different time routines that everybody kept, which sort of, I feel, held up the construct of time that we've been fed. It actually feels to me that time has fallen away a little bit as we've been taught it, as we've been conditioned to know it. And so things that feel like they've taken a lifetime, but at the same time, you look at the dates and they've taken no time at all. You haven't even passed much time at all. You know, you're just coming into the second month since December. It really is a trip when you feel it and look at it that way. And it does give power to the fact that we do manifest this reality one way or another, individually and collectively. And whilst we were all so busy, where there was so many more routines happening every day, you know, kids at school at a certain time, at work at a certain time, lunch at a certain time, that all feeds the energy into what has become a physical limitation, a physical restriction, the time as we know it. And that feel that has lost a bit of power since this whole, you know, COVID period. And we can use that to our advantage. We can use this, but we have to be dedicated. We have to meet force with force and make sure that we're doing just as much work in the unseen, in the intent behind our words, our deeds, and our actions to create the reality that we want to see. Because we are going to feel this face off. So it's important that we go on our individual journey too, and continue to grow in it, continue to establish grounding in it, and continue to have passions and be in flow with life. And in doing so, that strengthens us. It strengthens our intent. It gives us a more clarified intent as far as the collective stages and what we want to see there, what we want to bring in there. And so that was for whoever needed to hear it regarding the time thing. I feel like some people have been thinking and feeling the same thing as me, very much so. And so you're not alone. It's weird. And we've got the first card is the Eight of Swords. Now, this, you know, it's difficult energies this week. The Eight of Swords is the self-imprisonment card. These thoughts, I call it the merry-go-round of thoughts, where you start almost going in a spiral in your mind, you know, with the same thoughts, and they might not even be about the problem. Your mind might be self-soothing by thinking about something even just menial, like what you're going to wear today, what you're going to eat. It feels a bit neurotic. I feel for a lot of you listening to this video, this will be for actually somebody that, yes, it might be for some of you, but on the main part, I feel it's somebody that you love, that you know, and that you're observing them in this state right now. And they're in this thought spiral. And of course, that with swords includes words. And so venomous words might be coming out, or words that sort of intimate end in life, you know, because they're sort of crying out for this help, but at the same time indulging in these cyclical thoughts and continuing in this spiral. I know you want to grab them out, but you know, they have to do that, yes, with guidance and support, but I feel a lot of these people that I'm talking about need space right now to do this for themselves. So it's regarding family, it's regarding home, it's regarding what has been the status quo for quite some time. So that could be relationships, routine, business, because we've got the Four of Pentacles to clarify this card. So the Four of Pentacles is about, you know, people have worked together to build this stability in this deck with the Four of Pentacles. They've worked together to build a home, a routine, a sustainable reality. And that's causing these mental cyclical thoughts to be unraveling, because there's somebody within that unit that isn't happy. There's somebody within that unit that doesn't feel like they belong there anymore, or doesn't feel like they belong in the role that they're in within that unit anymore. And they're having a really hard time with this. They feel out of place. But a lot of them feel out of place that in reality in itself, they really have been deeply affected. And it's as if something's just over this whole period, over this whole pandemic, we've had this build up in a lot of people's mental health. And so they're not very healthy thoughts. And so this might cause some kind of conflict, some kind of words that are sort of spit out today, quite venomous, quite hurtful words, or words that are meant to make others worry. In this case, you know, they're not nice words, and you say the right things to say, no, that wouldn't be acceptable to us, that wouldn't, you know, make us happy. But actually the wisdom is that don't feed too much energy into this. And this might sound harsh, but if people are going to do that, that's their choice. And it's very rare that people who do it talk about it quite so much. It's usually that they do it quite quietly. And I've got quite a bit of experience, personal and professional, in this. And so pandering doesn't work today to this energy. Pandering actually feeds the neurotic energy. Yes, it's difficult. It's real difficult. Now, for others of you, these thoughts, this is a necessary period of time. It's been a running commentary, I think, over the last few years underlying, but the last few days in particular, that some of you know that you have to leave some kind of construct, some kind of unit that you've been in a long time, some kind of foundation that you've built up over time. And it's getting to a point now where you've naturally gone into a place of being forced to think about it, and that has caused these cyclical thoughts. And this is where the Eight of Swords can be necessary because it's not a comfortable place to be. It pushes us to do something. It pushes us to really look and analyze what actually is the problem. What actually am I feeling displaced about, or uncomfortable about, or unhappy about? So that's where the Eight of Swords energy is used with wisdom. You use it for that time, but you don't stay on that thought merry-go-round for a great length of time, because, you know, the thoughts continue to add and go faster and faster, round and round. And, you know, I always say it, when people stay in the Eight of Swords too long, the motor flies off of the merry-go-round, and you're just stuck on these thoughts. And then it's at a point where it's harder to jump out to the action that you decide to take to get out of that situation, because your thoughts have become very fast. So yeah, it's a difficult energy, but it's forcing you to look at your situation. It's forcing you to see what you're truly unhappy about, and forcing you to really observe what needs to be done next, and what is done, what cannot be done anymore. We've got the 8 of Cups as the next card, and so this does speak to a lot of people making that decision finally to leave the situation that they're unhappy about, leave the construct, the unit that they're unhappy about, whatever that might be. It talks about actually even moving away, having a physical separation, a complete new change with the 2 8s here. And this is where this energy, although it's been uncomfortable, has actually pushed you into a direction that you feel more led to be going in, that you feel more, that you resonate with more. And so this is where, yes, it's not nice, but it's a necessary evil, because there's been procrastination in the situation that you've stayed in, maybe if this resonates with you for too long. It does speak to me, you know, as families, and I'm not saying completely and forever, because these aren't personal readings, but, you know, there's breaks in families, people moving away from one another. Now that might just be emotionally, mentally, creating distance, creating space, the need to create space here, but also it very well might be for a lot of you actually physical space, moving away, moving out, changing the location. So that's coming up for a lot of people. Now we've got the Queen of Wands to clarify the 8 of Cups here, and you can see it's a mature lady, and she's luxurious. She enjoys the beauty of life. She enjoys the indulgence of life, and she's passionate. And actually, it's an energy that can be quite shy in big groups, but actually when you get to know them, you know, it's like this freaky nature of wanting to explore things that they're passionate about: art, sex magic, fiery, deep connection can be made here. And I feel that a lot of you, this is back to that connection of self, back to this divine feminine energy that isn't what is depicted, and not bad at all, but you know, this gentle, all love and light. This is love and light, this is an energy of that, but it's also mixed up with that spicy, fiery, passionate, divine feminine energy. Now, so some of you might be going towards that, yes, to somebody else that resonates with this energy, that represents this energy. But I do feel for a lot of you, in taking the steps to be in that uncomfortable place, to focus and look at the situation, then being brave enough, even though it's sad, to move away from the situation, move out of the situation, separate yourself from the situation or the people within it. And this is actually awoken a lot of your divine feminine energy. It's, you didn't quite know how much pressure you were under staying in the wrong space and the wrong time with the wrong people. And I'm not saying wrong people as there's anything wrong with them, but people grow, they change, and you know, life paths can change and develop. And if other people haven't wanted to change, or they've changed in a different direction, you know, it happens. And so there's been a lot of suppression of this divine feminine energy within, whether you're male or female. For some of the males that resonate with this, you feel that for a lot of you that resonate with this, it's that like you haven't been able to connect with the divine feminine in your partner for whatever reason. And I'm not saying that's good or bad on any sides. I'm just saying this growth, this expansion has made you be almost a stranger to touching this kind of divine feminine passion and creative energy. And so for a lot of you, this might be that you're exploring this in somebody else, yes, and this feels very invigorating once the stressful relief of you making the decision. And that is awakening the divine feminine in you as males, where you're ready to connect with that in order to really connect with a feminine, a female who has a very developed divine feminine energy that you can really connect with and magnetize to. And again, for a lot of the women that this resonates with, there's this deep awakening that even if there's not this physical separation for some of you, there's this focus, this looking at the situation, realizing where you are lacking, where you are not gaining, where there's not true reciprocity, and making huge decisions to put your foot down and say either are you leaving, some of you, or that you want this to be so different that it looks like a completely different situation. And this in turn is really awakening that divine feminine energy. You know, and you hear her roar, that you want this spice, you want this creativity. And a lot of you that resonate with this as females, you haven't got time, because you're maintaining the home, you're maintaining this, you're maintaining that, and maybe things have just slipped a bit, in order for you to have your needs met, for you to have your time to really develop and connect with this divine feminine energy, this seductress, this sexy, spicy, mysterious energy. You know, with the Queen of Wands, it's like under the veil. You have to get to know this energy, whether it's within you or within somebody else, preferably both. By developing that within yourself, you really can connect with somebody else that is at the same level in divinity, which is just explosive and fun and expansive. And so this is good. This is a really good energy to what has been a real struggle, you know. The 8 and the 4 together really speaks to me, because that's like the 8 that's accumulated, these thoughts that have accumulated about the situation. You're drilling down on the situation, you're drilling down on what needs to be looked at, what needs to be changed. And so you're literally looking from your half, the 4. You've halved that 8 and you're looking from your side and taking your thoughts, your feelings, your wisdom into account. And your experience within the situation, and then that going back up to the 8 in the 8 of Cups, which signifies a leaving, a separation from the situation, or physically from the whole thing. Now the third card is the Magician. So this is awesome, because with that divine feminine energy, we go to a 1 where the Magician has, I don't know if you can see that card better there, all of the tools and tricks on the table that you would need to really get more. I feel like this is going to release a lot of you to get a lot more explorative with your magic. For a lot of you with your sex magic, especially with yourself, really, whoever you are, practice that, invigorate that side of self. It is such a powerful source of magic, and it's yours, it's your own. Nobody's taking it from you, nobody's giving it to you, you're creating it. So it's a huge powerhouse of the Magician. And so the Magician resonates with a Gemini card and a Virgo card. I don't know why that came out, because I don't often say the signs of the cards, but some of you, that might tie in the reading to give you more confirmation. The Magician here, you see we've got the infinity sign above the Magician, and that is super important, because this infinity sign represents so much. Obviously the infinite energy source, the spark of life, the transference of energy source, but it also represents the balance of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and being able to balance that out and meet in the middle of the infinity sign. And also it is an 8, it's an 8 on its side. So we've got like this huge representation of 8, 8, 8. There's something about the clarity that this Magician energy has today, that this uncomfortableness, this decision making, this awakening of this very seductive energy, fun energy. There's something about a lot of you doing actually magic today, doing ritual today, making a fuss of making connections with whatever or whoever you are led to do so. Making connections with your own intent, with your divine source within, to really actually get a real blast of proof back that your magic worked, and it worked real quick. And so this is good for you to do today, and good for you to have fun and explore with. Of course, always with discernment, but for the people that resonate with this reading, there's been growth happening here, and this needs to happen for you to really give this divine feminine the energy it's been craving, whether you're male or female. We've got the Four of Swords on the bottom of the other deck, on the clarifying card of the Magician. So we've gone to another 4, which would make another 8. So if you're seeing 888 today or 8888, whether you are seeing 818 or what other numbers can I see? The adding up of all of the 8s. Plus the 1 of the Magician. Yeah, going back to this 4, this speaks in this deck of there's a sacrifice being made. And magic is a transference that you have to maintain balance in your magic. You give a little and you take a little. And I'm not talking about, you know, low frequency magic, going out and grabbing a chicken from somewhere, you know, and wringing its neck for your ritual, for your sacrifice. I'm not saying that you have to be thinking along those lines at all. It is the sacrifice actually in this reading that would be made is that, you know, you don't leave this situation without sadness. You haven't faced this situation without fear of the unknown, and that is the sacrifice here, in that you've made that sacrifice to trust your plan, to trust your path, and finally break free from whatever's been holding you back or not working. And so this takes you to this 4, this in this deck, it's sacrifice. And it also speaks in other decks of meditation. So where this 4 represents, for a lot of you that resonate with this reading today, being too busy, not being appreciated, the routine, the people within it not working anymore, for you or anybody within it fully as it should be, creates this 8, which takes you to the leaf, and which then gives you this magical 8, in which you've sacrificed that. You've sacrificed that by not giving in to fear, by being led, and it's given you this divine feminine oomph to practice some magic, to really get to grips with your own powers and realize how expansive you are, and what you can actually do in such a short space of time. And actually from this 4 not giving you any time, you've gone to the 4 of Swords, which speaks of, in other decks, meditation. Being able to have time to be ritualistic, about bathing, about, you know, having the salt baths to cleanse, about meditation as you do it, however it works for you, about doing things like yoga. I'm going to have Sarah on about the Qigong, I think that's how you pronounce it, and another lovely lady's been sending me stuff, so I need to get back to you too, that I'm trying to take on board and do and implement in my routine. I realize my routine is real stretched at the minute, so I understand this energy. But by making this necessary sacrifice that wasn't easy to do, even though some people may be shouting at you with that 8 of Swords that, yeah, you're a user, or you were always going to do this, and think it's just a selfish act. That's their prison that they're in right now. It takes you to this 4 of Swords, where there's a cleansing. Look, there's fire, there's sacrifice in this card, and there's fire. There's a cleansing fire, and there's space and time to be quiet and become resolute about what you want to bring in with that Magician card. We've got on the bottom of the deck the Hermit. Again, you can see in this card, or you can't see very well, yeah, a ball of cleansing fire. Now this Hermit energy, number 9, so we've gone from the 8 to the 9, is about having that time and space to really search within, and going back to that 8 of Swords, the questioning of self, the questioning of the situation. The Hermit card giving you the energy to implement your energy of the Hermit, to be brave enough to look at the dark corners that are holding you there, the hooks, the fear of judgment, the fear of failure, or so-called failure, wherever those dark corners, because of whatever experiences, the hermit energy is brave enough to go and look at them, brave enough to look at them enough to transmute them. I always call the hermit card the blind and mute warrior, you know, that just holding the lantern, you know, you just allow yourself to be in that space. And that is that Eight of Swords. Allow yourself to throw those questions as to, why do I feel like that? Why do I feel this fear of being judged? Why do I feel this fear of failure? And you'll go back to the earliest memory that you have, or the latest memory that you have, that has actually created that hook, created that fear. The hermit energy gives you that the wisdom to be able to look at that and know that you can transmute it, know that you can turn it into a strength rather than a hook that is a weakness that others can puppet your strings with. We've got the Three of Wands on the bottom of the other deck. This is all about taking action, being on the move, implementing a strategy to move, to change, to flow away from wherever you are now into something new. So yeah, really interesting reading and quite specific for a lot of people, but there's general points I think that we can all resonate with and feel right now at some level, varying levels. But the bravery here, both to look at your own dark corners and to also look at the situation as it is. And to be honest, and then revel in the fact that this is a different experience now. If this is resonating with you and these are the decisions that you make, then, you know, this magician energy comes in full force for you to really explore and have a real knowing of self and power and what you can absolutely do and create in your own reality. So it's a super powerful reading for those that it resonated with. I wish you all the best day to reach your highest potentials. And what else? Not be hindered by anything that comes your way to try and block the great things that you will achieve today. And even if that is the hermit energy and looking within self and doing these self-questioning things, that is so powerful, believe you me. You're maintaining your inner ground and you're focusing on nourishing your inner ground, and we do everything from there. It always comes from within to the without. It's not the other direction. And so that is the day I want you all to have, if that is the day that will help you all. Other than that, just have an awesome day. I love you all and appreciate you all. And I'll see you again real soon. Mwah. How do I stop this again? You'd think I'd know by now. Let's see. Where are you? Well, I'm sticking around for a while. And you know, I've been learning how to edit, but I just can't be bothered. Where is it? There's like a bar that's come up on the bottom of the thing, and I don't know how to stop it from blocking. Oh no, now I've disappeared. No. Let me see. Right up my nose. Is that gonna all right, he's sticking around for a bit. Oh my goodness. Should I edit this one or not? Will this just be a Jenny thing? I think this will just be a Jenny thing because I can't be bothered to. There it is. Under the sketchbook logo for some reason. Computers. But I love them enough because they get me to connect with the likes of you guys. So much love, stay balanced and stay whole. Thank you for putting up with me talking to myself. Oh no, I've just gone on full screen mode now. Okay, now thank you for putting up with me. Mwah. End. Come on, end.